standards and a little bit of EDAP stuff, and I think there's an actual Honda training module. I'm gonna need one of you guys' help to log into IN and then print a version of that hands-on training. My login, I am locked out like many of you. Did everyone get reset? Are we still waiting for Cynthia? Who was locked out? Everybody who's not here? Who was locked out? Anybody in this class? No, everybody was good?
M4
M4?
and Kevin,
Yeah,
they're locked out, I'm pretty sure.
okay. And they're still locked out, you think?
Emmanuel's locked out too. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't gotten an update.
I got so many requests into this, the girl, woman, I don't really, actually, I have no idea what her age is, but I've only ever emailed to her, you know what I mean? I got so many requests into her. I got 24 new kids coming in. I got 2 repeat kids, like, your friend.
He told me he tested out.
Yeah, he did all the change, he did a good job. And then he opens up his, portfolio and I see his express order service and I'm like,
And
you're done, bro.
pre-record.
Get out of my class.
Go back to
Like,
class. I'm in class.
Gonna go Friday.
Where's the others?
okay.
Bro.
So I need to get with your boss. I wanna
Yo,
take
no.
some time to do that today. 'Cause
Lock in next period. Small class.
I think it'll do you good to maybe show some loyalty with him, but he needs to move you on.
I don't want to see what options I
I'm
have.
gonna open the stream on another
I'm
tab.
really nervous about North Shore for you, I'll be honest with you.
That's expensive.
Those camps, I'll be
No,
maybe
this
still
is
there, I don't know.
yeah.
When you stop
Yeah,
going to
what am
school,
I
you know,
doing?
he may have kept the job, which is great for him, you know, I'm happy about that. And you live, where do
Hang
you
on.
live in relationship to Roslyn or like Raleigh? Straight south, more west,
20,
more east?
25 minutes. I'm
No,
on the
but-
border of Nassau and Queens.
Is where you live?
Yeah, Rock-
Pre-detention,
Rock-
bro. I'm in college,
Okay,
buddy.
so that's like straight north for you or north and a little east?
How do I
North
edit?
and over east.
Okay.
How I edit
What would
this
be
shit?
the very next closest dealership for you?
The first one's Millennium.
How do I edit the fucking the scene?
Then the next one's Valley Street.
They're not gonna hire that guy is.
Yeah, they're not gonna hire you.
Although,
Oh god.
no, yeah, no, I think they're really harsh. You know what's wild though?
Oh god.
A kid in my new class, he's sharp as a marble too, this new kid. Hard R on that, okay? Sorry, it's hard on. But he's, his good buddy is actually a service advisor. He's like, I got you, bro. I'll get you in right here. Let's go. And I'm like, just like that? The guy won't even fucking talk to me. I go in there. And how many times have you been there? Like 4. And now all of a sudden this kid, because he's got a friend who's a guy.
Nothing to fix.
No, he said I can work there immediately. And I'm like, oh, how's that? And he's like,
Streaming
yeah,
class,
said you
yeah.
had me.
Call me
I'm like,
at the
oh,
airport. I'm
you're
trying to
in?
stay.
He's like, no, I wanna work at Audi. I'm like,
Where he's streaming. Yeah.
I don't really know.
Got locking.
Probably because all the programs are fucking full. You know how it goes. Well, yeah, maybe Valley Stream. I know I have Norm Ryder down there. He's like a good friend of the program, but
Chat.
he runs a
Yo, join me on
crazy
Roblox.
shop. Five guys, that's it, you know. No
Yeah, but their
service.
insurance company, they won't hire you unless you're over 21.
What's your age?
19.
You're 19. Which is bullshit because I've definitely played students with that guy before. I don't know. I gotta figure it out though because, listen, maybe you like contractor, but maybe you're gonna go work for another brand.
So this is a learning stream? Yeah, we learning, bro. Shit, we learning, but y'all gotta join me on Roblox.
I mean,
Let's play on.
listen, I try to balance this, right? I got
Play
real
some Press It
responsibility now
Press.
that because you guys are in the Honda program and we're working on Honda cars, 25 fucking cars up there that they gave us, all this training, all this stuff, like all that stuff, but like, if the dealership group can't make this a really good job, graduate Honda. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe a year from now, a couple years from now, you come back around and get some more experience, and then look at your training, look at your experience, you're like, I'll give you $25 an hour, and you're like, okay, $25 an hour, and then maybe you'll work back in the brand. I have no way of knowing that. But
I want to try forming a classic one.
I wrestle with that constantly. Because you guys are a bit part-time at work.
Alright, hold on. Stream my leg.
Full-time salaries, the full-time position.
I gotta get something from the car.
I do think that there's sometimes underpaid. It's like that's what you are there. But I do know where you are. As soon as you graduate, you're off to the races. I see that happen.
Alright, stream my leg. Stream my leg.
Started that cord in the corner 3 times no oil, and then the CRV once.
3 times.
That's a new record for me. Actually,
Bus broke instead of.
yeah. And then one of the other guys, he's actually teaching like a brakes class right now. He did a bunch of stunts on that Civic. He just didn't do them on the back. He did drum brakes. He didn't know how to do drum brakes. Exactly. Like, what a fucking douche. Just take it apart. I know. How many of you guys were actually really happy to get to do some drum brakes so it's not like this magical, like, how does it fucking go thing? Or how many of you were like, still stupid? Like, they're still stupid. Yeah, I think you still feel like that.
No, they're not too hard.
No, I don't
Just
think
try this out.
they pay really well though. I think drum brakes pay more than this, to do, you know, if you're on flat rate. If you're hourly, they pay the same. The hourly amounts, right? Well, all right. Let's take the rolls. I'm supposed to remind you guys, next week, we're having a completely different traffic pattern. What do I mean by that? Next week, we're having fixed ops training. A bunch of dealer personnel are coming to our building. As many as 30 are coming to our building. They're starting at 7 in the morning, so there may be 30 more cars than normal out there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so 2 of your classes, we're having a lot more, like, customers in the building. So you guys, if you don't get here early-ish, you're gonna, because Toyota always beats everyone here, so Toyota, those guys, the fixed ops trainers, are actually probably gonna take all the prime spots. So that leaves you guys going up the hill. We've actually gotten special permission, like a small drawing here, plus the faculty building. Here's the containers are over here. We got spots going this way, spots going this way, spots going this way, spots going this way. Our cage is here, and these spots go up, 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 right? That parking lot that's straight ahead, I fucked the drawing, I think, but, I ran out of page, or I'm not tall enough to get there.
Racing school.
Let's just say you know where our parking spaces are. Here's our spots. Across the street, this wraps around and then wraps around this way. And there's a building here. This is called the North Building. And there's an exit here and an entrance here. There's a bunch of parking spaces there you may not use, but you may park any of these spaces. Okay? Do we know where that is?
Yeah, it's in front of the exit, right?
Yeah, when you go up the hill, like leaving, and you guys almost always turn this way, nobody ever turns that way, there's a facilities building over there. This is the parking lot right at the top. And this comes out onto the road, out of the campus. Does that make sense? Is it pretty clear where that is? So you guys have permission to park in here if you need to. And there's maybe got spots up there, something like that. I know that's maybe not quite enough, but you have permission, yeah, wherever you want to park. Here,
That's like up there? Yeah, we're
all the way to the top of the hill,
Okay, we'll do-
and you have to go around to get into that spot. But you can only park in front of the building, not over here. That's for the staff in that building. It's never really full. I see 4 or 5 cars there most times. There's, like this morning when I came in, there was maybe 4 or 5 cars in this lot, but it's usually the guys from over there. They have their own parking, but they like to park away, so they can sneak away. They don't get caught leaving the parking lot. They go to McDonald's and 7-Eleven during work hours. Good times.
So it's a bad time to say I might be late next week? Now I'm just saying, cause it's due end week, and it's fucking saying all that, they might close the bridge down mornings and all that. Sounds like,
If you somehow,
cause my dad left on yesterday, and the bridge was closed one way, and he got late for work.
there's an bridge.
Yes.
If somehow you,
I mean, I'll still be on my way here.
if somehow you emailed me that morning and said, hey, listen, weird traffic patterns, can't get here. Yeah, I'll accept that. We are, because they're using Nono's room, Nono's using our room, we may be in 110 for lecture, or we're just gonna be able to go into the shop. So both days, depends on what who's where and what. So we'll look today and see who's where, but we may end up bumping down to 110. Because Nono's losing her classroom, so we may lose ours. That make sense? Everybody good on that? So these are red striped spots. Do you guys know what the red striped spots mean in college? Faculty, but we have permission. We definitely got permission to park there. So don't be thinking now you've got permission to park in any red striped spot. That'll get you in trouble, yes. All right? All right, any questions about that? Does anybody who works at a Honda Acura dealership, does anybody know anybody who's coming to that thing next week? It's for service advisors, parts professionals, parts managers, service managers, it's all fixed ops. Do we know what fixed ops means? Fixed ops is everything other than new car sales. The fixed operations at a dealership. Responsible for what kind of profit at the dealership? Of the overall profit of a car dealership, this is profit, not service volume. Buenos días, señor.
That's good.
What happened?
Nah, the whole sunrise, packed.
Oh, okay.
I did wake up late.
So what he means is he left at 10 and got here a little late.
No, I left at 9:20.
Okay. Left at 9:24, 9:35. Glad you made it, and you're safe. But of the overall profit of a car dealership, what percent of it is actually made by service and parts?
40.
Huh?
40.
Well, I wish it was that small, but our,
Not more or less.
it's not, yeah, it's definitely more.
It's more than sales. Really? See.
70.
75% of most dealerships, the profit is made in the parts and service department. I have like a bad ad. Okay. What about, let's do another one. Volume. How about that? Shit.
You work.
Bless America. That number is exactly opposite.
I was laughing.
75% of the volume is sales.
This kid is sick.
What does that mean? What does that mean in reality? We're making all the money, but they're making all the service, all the dollar volume.
What they sell is worth more, but they don't profit as much?
No, yeah, so they're doing millions of dollars in sales, but at skinny little profit margins, right? And we're doing less dollars, still big money, as far as I'm concerned, but nowhere near what they're doing, but at big profit margins. Our profit margins are really good in the sales or service and parts department. But the volume is big. And this is actually a right sort of recipe for mobsters who want to be involved.
I don't know
You're
what
trying to
I'm
wash money, and you can't wash a lot of money when your service volume is low, when the dollars are small. But when they're really large, you can squeeze in. You're like, yep, we're a highly profitable car dealership because they're using mob money coming in, right? And this is why Stoolty. Anybody works for a Stoolty store? Atlantic, Millennium, all of those stores, those are all Stoolty stores. Don Leah, your owner, old Boomba, big old pinky ring, like the guy's a serious mobster, or he was. Turns out you can make money selling it, fixing cars, or you could have ever in the mob, and it's all legal. It's like, oh, start that race, let's go. I think he owns some stores upstate. Okay. Cause there's
He has
a
an M4.
Leah Honda up in Rochester, up in Buffalo. Like, that's kind of a common, not a very common name to be owning car dealerships, you know?
Buddy training to get an M4.
But that's truly why the old mobsters got into car game, is to watch this, all this millions of dollars of money at low profit margin. And all you do is just key in a little bit of mob money, and then the profit margins go up, and they're like, oh, it must be doing really well. Not possible. Anyway. So fixed ops training is happening in our building. Those of you that are car dealerships, you're likely to see people you know. Lydia Kim organized it, so she's the perpetrator, coming in here with her professional, national stock trainer, training for Long Island dealerships. Good? No, really great. Other than we care about losing our parking spaces. Yeah, like that's about right. All right, back to the roll calls. Sadat came out today, nice to see you. Matthew Maya, I saw him. Emmanuel is here. Hector. No. Max Cohen. That's you.
Yo, G80.
Kevin Gutierrez. Just so lucky that I took the roll up an hour later. Huh? The fucking aliens are chewing through the walls. One of those fucking rolls on that side of the
We're so
wall. Yeah. Magdalena, Luis Morales.
Oh, no.
I say silver.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Andy
no.
McNeil.
It depends what color you get.
Yeah, what color is the car?
What's with Andy and his
Gray.
attendance? He just
Gray?
doesn't like to do it? or
Black.
what? What's with Andy and his attendance? He doesn't like to come to college?
He's a bad boy.
Bad boy.
What?
Little creepy. Hey Kevin and Andy
That'd be clip on the white track.
and
That's a clip on.
really just the two of you. Still don't have anything from you for online training?
Nah, I sent you the ID to reset the password.
Huh?
I sent you my IDs to reset my password.
Yeah, I think I sent it away already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, alright, check.
We'll see what happens. I think I sent it away. Kevin, you need yours reset or some shit? Did you send me an email? Okay. Yeah.
Is my thing for training fine?
What was it?
The thing you're checking like right now, is it fine? Because I know you sent me the thing to, like, did I need to do anything more than what I did?
No, I mean, you reset and you're good, right?
Yeah.
Or did you get it back yet?
What?
You sent me an email and said,
Yeah.
hey, my stuff's locked out. I sent you back an email with temporary password.
Yep.
And you logged in, now you're good?
I didn't log in yet.
Motherfucker. That shit expires after a couple days.
Oh, really?
You're probably fucked already.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
The whole point to us doing that was to see who's in and who's locked out. And those that are locked out, we got them to log back in.
I got busy.
And then the few that I just called out, it was Kevin, and Andy. Got another Kevin,
Sure, I logged in on the IM.
Kevin Gutierrez.
Sitting in the classroom is crazy.
Kevin, you sent in a reset to me. You requested a reset. I got these guys, the two Kevins and one Andy. They just never responded, so I still got you as 0 points on that assignment. Huh? Well, yeah, I mean, I got you. I supposedly, did I reset you? Yeah. Did you get a password from me?
Good night.
Are you good to go now? Yeah. Okay. You sure? You kind of had like a question in your face about like, yeah, should be fine. Did you try and reset your shit? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Officially.
So I'm getting the points though, right?
Huh?
The points, right?
No, if I reset somebody or they gave me their training printout, they were good. Everybody who didn't respond got nothing. So. All right.
Damn it.
I don't know. Why do you guys make it hard? You know what you need to fucking do, right? You need to get on and fucking train. Like that's it's not complicated, yes.
I just tried logging in with the temporary thing, and it says my access has been deactivated.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
So I need to see my IN administrator or manager to reactivate my
You don't
account.
have one.
Uh-oh.
It's really just me. And it's only me. And it's only me through this woman in Honda. Do me a
All right.
favor. You're on your laptop. Get the fuck off of Crossy Road and send me another email and say, I fucked it up. I need another reset, please.
I don't play Crossy Road.
Shut the fuck up.
I'll send it right now.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the animal with the chicken, right?
The animal with the chicken.
Yeah, here.
The chicken cross.
Let's give you guys another opportunity to figure out how many of you guys are lost in the woods and how many of you guys are good. So tonight's assignment for the Thursday class, I need to see that you've done 4 online modules.
By next Tuesday?
As well online.
Please make it next Tuesday.
In the fuel and emissions area,
Please make it.
Cool.
for Thursday.
What? I got a paper due. Oh my goodness.
4 modules in the fuel and emissions area.
You could
And
do
if
how
any
much
of
today?
you are already done with the entire fuel and emissions area,
Are we supposed to be?
huh?
Are we supposed to be?
No, you're supposed to be done at the end of this class with fuel and emissions. The metric is pretty much that you guys should be half done with all the training. And if you chose to train in fuel and emissions, as this whole module is finished, just show me the finished printout of the 100% done in the fuel and emissions area, all right? Is that pretty clear?
Yeah.
Those of you that are unset or did not get a new password or something like that, you guys need to send me an email again and make sure we're following up. Yes, sir.
I think I just sent you an email now.
Oh, you think you did?
Yeah, I'm not sure if
I think
wake
I'll
up.
check my email later.
Alright.
And I'm not sure if I will, but maybe.
Maybe.
All right, you guys got that? That's Thursday's homework assignment. 4 online modules in the fuel and emissions area due this Thursday. I want them at the beginning of class. All right? That pretty clear? Another opportunity.
3 water pump failures is crazy, bro. 7. SD card.
What Wi-Fi am I connected?
The wrong
Um, Alright. Alright, so the thing that we're supposed to talk about today is fuel emissions diagnostics. Does anybody know what that means?
Oh,
I know I gave you homework. so
OBD.
Everybody's gonna try to do it right here in class, I understand.
OBD. There's
OBD.
there's OBD1 and OBD2. I think
Those are things,
OBD2.
that old dirty bastard?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, sorry about that, that was a
Um,
rapper from the nineties, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
He's part of the clan. He
OD. Oh, wait.
oh,
Um,
Did you get that on stream? So OBD2, isn't that after a certain year, like 96 or something? Or do I sound crazy? I was right.
Isn't OBD2 after
that's
96?
fucking insane.
96 and forward was OBD2.
And then what's 91? I mean, OBD1.
OBD1 was like the first thing. What does OBD stand for though, other than old dirty bastard or old bastard dirty?
Onboard diagnostics.
Oh shoot!
Yo,
Brown nosing kid, I don't know, man.
wow. Yo, I might be the smartest kid in here. Shit. The biggest jerk off.
Onboard diagnostics. Basically, they made the cars themselves, right? OBD1 was, you know, they still call it onboard diagnostics. They basically made sure the car was looking after itself as far as emission standards. OBD1 was very sort of narrow in scope. We had some emission stuff, we had some EGR stuff, we had some EVAP stuff. But really, the main thing with OBD1, when you got a check engine light with OBD1, it was damaging the catalytic converter. Because the cat was such a magic silver bullet for the whole thing that the catalytic converter actually solved so many problems. Any raw fuel never made it out the tailpipe. The catalytic converter took care of it. And we needed to look after the cat. And I always liken this to OBD1 was protect the queen. And the queen was the cat. And OBD1 basically looked after the catalytic converter. Make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? So, if you have a check engine light with an OBD1 car, what would be an OBD1 car? 1983, 1988, like pretty much any of that stuff. You got a check engine light, it means the cat was being damaged. What are some things that we know now that would damage a catalytic converter? Burble tune, yes, all right. You couldn't get much of a burble tune on some of those old cars, because we had OBD1 cars that still had carburetors. They didn't know how to fucking burble. They didn't know shit, you know, they didn't know any of that stuff. But yeah, we had some weird stuff. Like it was very rudimentary, but we were protecting the cat. What damages cats, guys? What are the things? Huh?
Unburned fuel.
Unburned fuel. Too much fuel into the exhaust system results in high cat temperatures and cats potentially melting and giving trouble. And so, what would cause unburned fuel? Too much gas going in, right? Too large a fuel injector, something weird. Injectors that weren't sealing, they weren't closing. Or, what's worse is, what if we had the right amount of fuel, but we couldn't ignite it with a spark plug? What do we call that? What if we had the right amount of fuel going in, but somehow we couldn't catch it on fire? Misfire? Holy shit. Holy crap. So that would have been one of the big ways that we would actually have a check engine light with an OBD1 car is a misfire. Anytime you can't ignite the fuel goes straight out the tailpipe or straight out the exhaust manifold into the cab and will damage the cab. So yeah, it expires. Anyway, pretty much the only reason, it still had the same parameters, but 1.5 times the emission standard would have set a check engine light on an OBD1 car. Alright? But it's still fairly basic. It's not the very dynamic self-diagnosing system that we currently have in OBD. Anybody rocking out an OBD1 car? What year is your aesthetic?
91.
That's OBD1 for shizzle. In the OBD1 era, we actually had we had dual emission standards. You'd have a 49 state car, meaning a federal car, and you had a California only car. California emissions were very different back in those days. 1991, 93, 94. You could have a Cali version or a federal version. That was a pain in the ass. And then the federal government probably did one good thing and said, let's get all on the same page. Let's provide the opportunity to not have Ford, Chevy, Nissan, and Toyota build two different versions of the car, some for California and some for the rest of the country. So in 1996, let's start. Are we done with OBD1? Do we care more about it?
No.
All right.
Why is California so gay with their laws?
Well, so this, interestingly enough, and as we go forward, we'll start talking about it. OBD2, 1996, we had a federal standard, so all cars had the same emissions, right? And you could buy these cars. OBD2 was a next level as far as self-diagnostics. We had most sensors were actually built in with the self-diagnostic feature. So the sensor was its own sensor, or the actuator had its own sensor built in, so that when anything was out of range, you had to check engine light. Even if it wasn't 1.5 times outside the emission standard, anytime something didn't work right, you can check engine light. So let's name some codes that we might actually have in an OBD2 car that may not have necessarily been bad for the car, but it would have definitely checked the check engine light.
Short circuit.
Huh?
Short circuit.
Short circuit in what, sir? What?
In seat heater.
In the seat? No, OBDs, that's not. You wouldn't have got it. It's really only emissions related, right?
Oh, only emissions.
Oh, and this is another thing that's kind of interesting. I'll come to you in just a second. That little connector that's under the dash, there's a requirement that is, I think something like 18 inches from the steering wheel. All right, that little, you know what connector I'm talking about?
What's the reason of that?
Huh?
What's the reason for that?
It's just the standard. They don't want you having to go under the hood to plug something in. They wanted you to plug in from under the, like somewhere in there. On the early Preludes, 90s, like later 90s Preludes, the interpretation, they didn't have room for it. The plug on those cars was on the passenger floor. Was that still within that?
S2000 still?
Huh?
S2000 still, or just the?
I don't know. Yeah. Preludes and S2000 totally different car, right? You know that?
Oh, because I once had a S2000 for inspection, and it was on the passenger side.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I just knew the only car I've ever worked on that had, like, I was hunting for it, looking for it, and then I ended up finding it on the other side was Prelude. But yeah, maybe S2000, same thing. So it's possible as long as it's within 1.5 foot of the steering wheel, that could be on the passenger as well. All right.
Happened yesterday.
That is an American emission standard. How many of you guys would definitely think it'd be fun to buy a JDM car? Yeah?
I think it'd be cool.
Do you think your JDM car would actually have that plug in it?
Yes.
Wait,
100% no.
wait.
No.
You're talking about like from Japan? JDM or
That's
just
the fucking phrase, JDM.
nah? Because sometimes people just
Japanese domestic market.
people see that as Honda, Toyota, Lexus, or not Lexus, but
They're wrong.
what?
The Japanese, their domestic market is Japanese cars from Japan.
Yeah.
What if you drove a Ford in Japan? It might have this plug because it's made for our country. Then maybe they also can sell them over there.
Okay.
But in most cases, like a lot of these
Call.
cars, they don't have that. If anybody's ever used a big snap-on set of like a what do you call it, a schedule,
You know?
and it has all these adapters in it. And like this one's for Nissan and that one's for Mercedes and shit like that. Most other countries actually connect to the car by their home port. Mercedes got this big round one and like everybody's got their own little thing. But in America, the federal government showed up and said, no, we'll all use the same fucking plug and it'll be good.
That's good.
And I actually think that some of the proprietary plugs would actually maybe give you more information, but they're like, no, you're gonna need to know these 25 different things on the car, and you're gonna get it right through that plug, if you're gonna do it, or you're not gonna sell cars in America. And for a lot of car companies, they decided, all right, that's it, we're done. We're moving out. Who left? What are some brands that used to be brands and they aren't brands, and now they're kind of coming back, huh?
Mitsubishi.
Yeah, Mitsubishi was really skinny for a minute, right? And I don't know if it was their distribution, or what, but like they really almost quit selling cars in America. And maybe it's because they were such small service volume, things like that. What was the one you were saying? Nick?
Fire ass on wheels, bro. Good galaxy.
Hummer? Hummer went away just because people stopped being interested in them. Someone at the time. Scion. Yeah, Scion was actually kind of an American-only idea.
Galaxy gas.
Toyota was trying to get like a high, medium, low car game going to where it was Lexus, Toyota, Scion, cheap entry-level cars for Scion, main, middle of the road sort of Toyota cars, and then luxury cars would have been Lexus. And then they just weren't selling Scion. You know, huh?
There's another one.
Chrysler's still a car brand, yeah. But I was thinking more along the lines of some kind of odd brands that we never really got in America, but we did before. One of those that I was thinking of was Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo just about quit being a car brand in the United States. They sold a good few cars in the 70s, maybe early 80s, and then they bailed out, and now you can get some Alfas. They came back.
There's some dealerships.
Yeah, they started selling cars back in America. Fiat. Fiat was a whole car brand in the 70s and 80s. Pontiac, they spun out. This is a Pontiac.
I don't know too much about them.
GM actually had, GM was the biggest fish. GM was the biggest car company in the world, right? And GM started buying other car companies. Well, who was in the GM line of cars that you don't have anymore? Or that maybe are still there?
Mercury.
Huh? That was Ford.
Oh.
Ford bought Mercury, and then it was Ford Mercury.
Pontiac.
But, huh? Pontiac's definitely one. Saturn, anybody in the family ever own a Saturn? Okay. Saturn used to be a GM
We're
brand.
junking my brothers.
How about Buick?
Today.
Buick's still a thing.
Getting total.
How about Cadillac? Cadillac's still a thing. GMC is also Chevrolet.
And my mom's told
Chevrolet
us
is
to
also
go.
GM.
Yo,
What else?
my driveway might get repainted. Completely.
Huh?
Yo, that means it's low
Jeep
car
is a
friendly.
Chrysler company.
Yo.
Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram.
Unless they make it
You know, first it was Chrysler Ram trucks.
No,
Now it's just Ram.
no.
What's that?
You see my house after
Is
my
in
street
the,
was paved,
yeah,
right?
Stellantis is
How there's like
actually,
2 inches of
and I
like,
think they're actually
like-
Alpha as well.
because the street, there's like, it's like 2 inches above my driveway.
All the Italian brands.
Because when they were
are
paving it,
under one-
my brother
under
parked the
one,
rear bumper of his
umbrella.
car way too far out. So it didn't flatten out. It's just like, it's like a little cliff.
Yep. That's what happens. Alright, so that's OBD2.
And my front lawn is getting
OBD2 was
redone.
good. We were going along since 1996. It's still,
For free.
you still call it OBD2, but they're talking
Yeah.
about OBD2, BIN2, Tier 7. You know, there's some different specifications. OBD2 has gotten better and better. You guys know how much, or how many readiness monitors an early OBD2 system had? Do we know what a readiness monitor is? Huh?
I am.
You? You don't?
No.
So what's a readiness monitor? These are self-checks that the car does for itself. So the car first starts up and it looks at its emissions, or its evaporative emission system, EVAP systems. It checks them. If they check out good, because we look at external temperatures and internal pressures, and we look at the map, and we look at some different things, we cycle the valves a little bit, and if they all work, we check it off and say, okay, that's running good. What are some other ones? The heated O2 sensor. That one, we need to make sure the heater's there and it actually works and everything's going good on that. So we check that one off. That's another readiness monitor. What's another one? EGR. If you have an EGR cycles and it sees a difference in pressure. I mean, what kind of a sensor does it use to see a difference in pressure? EGR opens. What should we see in the intake manifold? A little change in vacuum, right? Because that's almost like a vacuum leak. And if it actually sees that happen, it says, okay, EGR is good. Check that one out. What other ones? Okay, good, fantastic. Well, you guys have never been asked to go drive this car for 50 miles and try to set the readiness monitor? You have been? Yeah, you've done that?
Or like a car, like you're trying to.
If you reset the ECU, like if you clear all the codes, and then they usually tell the newbies in the shop to go drive the fuck out of this thing. Go to lunch, drive it on the highway, try to, drive slow, drive fast, drive.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
D-cell, XL, things like that.
I was working for Tesla.
And you were trying to reset all these readiness monitors.
Or you got that kid that
Alright,
changed
and then you're ready for the New York
I'd be
City.
flying down
emissions
one.
standard.
That's why I changed the battery
You
while
got
the
the
car's
kid that
running.
changed the battery before the inspection.
Yes, because they don't want you to have to reset these things. Especially if you sell a battery when it's time for New York State inspection.
Just leave it running. Nah.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah, sometimes you can do that.
That's what I do.
Leave it running.
That's what I do.
Leave it
Yeah,
running
you
and change it.
can change the battery, do it dirty,
Yeah.
that's a possibility.
The med-
It's a little sketchy though, because the ECU sometimes will see the absence of voltage and then they'll bug out or something. I don't know. That's probably not the most
Like that.
valid service technique. You put the new battery in and all your bag blow and you're like, what the fuck happened? Anyway,
Bugging.
but these are the readiness monitors. These are the self-checks that the car actually does. But if I was to tell you guys, I think I would be able to, assuming the car was overnight cold. What is overnight cold? They measure what is a drive cycle by allowing the car to get under like 70 or 80 degrees overnight cold. Maybe 80 is a good number. And if it gets overnight cold and it sees itself warm up, it'll actually run 2 or 3 drive cycles. If it never gets cold, so the car's already hot, already driving, and you you clear the codes, all of your readiness monitors go, and there's a good few of them that won't reset if the car's already hot. Make sense? And so you may need to wait till the car gets cold. I've actually heard of a diagnostic repair happening in like the state of Texas, where it's 90 degrees day and night for days on end, and the readiness monitors will never run if the car never gets below 80 or something like that. Make sense? Anyway, that's OBD2, those are your readiness monitors. And the tests that it does are based on a certain drive cycle. I actually have a handout for you guys that I'll get for, maybe I'll go down and get it for you now so we can actually talk about it. Well, what's the further iteration of OBD2? And whose interpretation of OBD2? Has anybody, so the state of New York has a safety inspection. Who else has a safety inspection? Who has no inspections? Yeah, Florida doesn't give a fuck. Are the brakes good? You're like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Does it have emissions equipment? No, it doesn't matter, we don't care. You have the money, you wanna drive, you take your life into your own hands. Which is fair. No, I mean, it's kinda cool, like that's the sort of live and let live sort of mentality, but do I feel safer driving around in New York, knowing that every one of your cars has been looked at once a year at least, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter. People still drive awful.
There could be, and they all have Pennsylvania license plates on them, actually. Or Jersey. I don't know if there's more loopholes out there, but they're, every time you see
You guys have
like
like a checklist of them?
Maryland, Pennsylvania, or Jersey.
You guys get a
license
car?
plate,
Like if you're doing like brakes and you know how you you check the filters?
Huh?
Oh,
Maryland for sure, yeah.
Slap a sticker.
like the MPI sheet?
Check the filters on the brakes.
No, like you just check like the cabin.
But what is the New York
See
thing?
what the brakes
You know,
are.
what is
Check
the
his
New York
Yeah,
thing
check-
supposed
we have
to
that.
entail?
That's what he said.
Like, what is the test? Plug, no light,
an FDIC.
Expect to break suspension. the
Alright,
rest
Chad,
of the
I'm
line,
on-
5 question checklist doing
I'm
that.
gonna dip. I'm gonna come back for lunch, cause
This car's safe for the road, but you're on your way, right?
Bro, I didn't
What
even
about,
get tires
what about
for
other
inspection.
states? Who right now is actually pushing really hard because they don't think OBD2 is strict enough?